Hello, my name is Artem Axenov and I'm the Operations Manager here at Smarketing Lab. Today I'm here to talk to you about whoiswhere business data, also known as the first of the 4 R's in our B2B growth framework. Do you have a new idea for a business? Do you have a business and you want to launch a new product or service? If you do, then the first step that you're going to want to do is identify if there's actually enough customers locally to support that business, that service, that product, or your startup even. So this process is called market validation. And market validation can mean all sorts of things to all sorts of people. Here at whoiswhere in Smarketing Lab, we like to think of two levels of market validation, you could say. The first level is very simple, very straightforward. It's sort of doesn't speak to any of your customers, but gives you a rough idea of how many customers there actually are that could potentially buy your product. And that could already give you an indication of whether or not your, product or service has a future. So we do this by identifying your target market, and we've done videos and blog posts about how to do this, but I'll just quickly run it through here again. So there's 3 steps we like to do. The first step is location, which can be city, country, region, it can be street, building, whatever you think the location is. So first identify the location where these people reside. The second one is industry. So again, think about what kind of industries do these companies exist in? Are they telecommunications? Are they, childcare providers? Is it retail? Is it hospitality, services, manufacturing, wholesale, whatever the industry is? Try to figure out what that is. We use the ANZIC classification, which you can find downloadable on our website. The third step is number of employees to figure out the size of the company. So the size, you're going to want to use revenue probably as your first instinct. Unfortunately, in New Zealand and even in Australia, this is a very difficult measure to get because there's no reason for companies to disclose this information. And as you probably might appreciate, most companies don't want to disclose this information. They might not even know it, to be honest. So revenue is a really difficult one to go through unless maybe you're a bank or something like that and have access to that data natively, which I assume you're not. So number of employees is the way we like to do it. This is kind of a proxy measure. And so these 3 steps will give you the size of your target market. So the final step to do sort of market validation through that is you kind of think about how much are you selling your product for? What percentage of the market do you think you can realistically get? You multiply those 2 numbers and then you figure out, is that, a decent amount of money to be earning per year? If your product costs $1,000 and you can only get, your target market is 2,000 companies, you want to get 10% of the market. So that's $200,000, and let's say it's a recurring product. So 200 grand a year. And then you figure out, what is your cost to make that product or deliver that service? What other overheads? If you're an existing business, maybe that would be a nice extra revenue stream you can add. If you're a new company, maybe 200 grand isn't actually that much. If you're, a sole operator and that's in one city, then maybe 200 grand is great for you because you only have your own overheads and whatever other things there are. So that's kind of how you do market validation in a very simple, cost-effective, easy way. The second way you can do market validation is sort of once you've done that way, you probably want to actually speak to the customer and figure out, do they actually connect with your idea? Do they think that your product or service is good? Would they actually buy your product or service? And we feel the best way to do this in the business-to-business sector is through a phone call to your target market. We have callers locally that can reach out to those businesses on your behalf. And it's a very simple conversation to have, and people aren't scared off by it because we're not actually selling anything. We're really just asking for maybe 10-15 minutes of their time to have a chat about your potential product or service. So get in touch with us today for a complete list of your right audience, which is the first step in the 4R B2B growth framework here at Smarketing Lab.